Hey, Koala. Koala? Koala isn't here. Of course, the lockdown. I'm going to make this video on my own with no limitations or rules. Got the YouTube channel all by myself. Hello, this is Dancing Bert, your autistic prince, and as ever, your faithful servant. During this epidemic crisis of the lockdown, people are stuck in homes, and as always, I feel, through my vanity, have to apologise for my appearance as I can't get to a barber's. So, with all this business going on, what do we do to pass the time? Well, I don't know about you, but for myself, I've been binge watching a monumentous amount of shows on Netflix, and thanks to the technology we have today with streaming and Amazon Prime, we are able to have more options to presented to us. So what I thought I decided to do is offer you 5 examples of 5 shows that you possibly either have heard of before and just never got down to. Here is the perfect opportunity to binge watch such shows. I will select and personally pick 5 shows that will I personally believe are pretty damn good. So at number 5 we have, or number 1, whatever's your preference, I have picked a particular show called Jessica Jones. Now, for those who are well versed and severely enjoy the MCU movies, this particular show could be for you. Now, I imagine and anticipate that there will be a lot of people screaming at this video, as Jessica Jones has made, I think it's safe to say, quite a severe impact in mainstream pop culture. However, there are amongst those, even if it is in the minority, that have never seen it, i.e. me. Now, to be brutally honest with you, Jessica Jones was a show that I always considered watching. It was always at the back of my mind, but I never got round to watching myself. So obviously, as horrible as this lockdown is, it did present an opportunity to get to watch those shows that otherwise I probably wouldn't for either ever or a severe long time. So, without getting too sidetracked, Jessica Jones is a show about a woman, without giving too much away, spoiler alert, who has certain abilities. She is a private detective with a very dark and unfortunate past. The villain is played by David Tennant, and need I say more, being the huge Doctor Who fan myself, how could I not watch it? Also, it has been, I did a little research, as it were, and originally this show was considered to be stringsic or as part of the MCU universe, alongside its brother and sister shows, or also known as spin-off shows. I think The Punisher and Cage. I want to say Nick Cage, but I don't think I'm presenting it right. God, people are going to be screaming at me at this video. But Jessica Jones has spin-offs that is considered to be in its own universe and was originally going to be part of the MCU. It was considered to be at one point part of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was perceived to be part of that universe. However, that wasn't apparently without its altercations. So for those who are ever wondering and ever want to consider watching Jessica Jones, please do not consider this part of the Avengers, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as they are, even though originally they was meant to be part of the MCU, they are now not. So there you have it, folks. Number 5, or number 1, I think we'll say number 1, just for argument's sake. Number 1, Jessica Jones.
Did you really think you'd be able to do another video without me realising it, Dancing Bert? I mean, come on. It's me that edits all these together? Really? And it's not 5 things, it's 10 things, because, you know what, I'm getting involved in this. Not having another bloody video of you stood in a bathroom, barely able to dress yourself, standing there always doing this. Let's face it, I mean, people haven't really seen me, but you're the looks. I'm the brains, I'm the boss, like it or not. And I will sell you back to the circus if you keep just doing whatever you want with our channel. Not your channel, our channel. And it's, just for all those people that are going to shout at you before, it's Luke Cage. Not Nick Cage. Nick Cage is an actor who is hilarious and everything is in, even if it's a really bad movie. Luke Cage is a bulletproof man that walks around Harlem. So, anyway, on to my number 1. Or I guess number 2. You know what? Yeah, that works for me. I'll take all the even numbers because you're quite odd anyway. And I do apologise, same as Dancing Bear, for the looks of my hair. All the barbers are shut. All the hairdressers are shut. So, number 1. Book. Audiobook, digital book, Kindle, whatever. You will never have another chance in lockdown. You will never have another chance to go through your backlog. So go through stuff that you've bought, intended to read, maybe you looked at. Maybe you like the series on Netflix or something of, say, The Witcher, Game of Thrones, something like that. And start reading it. I'm rereading The Witcher, admittedly, because I've got them all anyway. The first 2 books are just a collection of short stories. If you enjoyed the show, you'll probably enjoy it because there's a lot more in there. And yeah, great reads. And come on, admit it, at some point you've bought a book, a movie, a game, a comic, something, and it's now sat on your shelf, probably still in cellophane, or you just never got around to playing it. Now's a perfect chance to do that. You know, get rid of some boredom. Or look into more of something you like. Say you really love watching Game of Thrones. Well, I can guarantee you, the books. I'm not one of them people that say books are better TV, movies, you know. But the books will have a lot more in that the TV series don't. Or The Walking Dead. The comics go in a completely different way. Same as the books of different things. The Witcher, the first season cherry-picked stories from the first 2 books. Personally, I like short stories. I can read one, close it, go off, do something else, come back, read another one. So yeah, that would be Koala's recommendation. Go through your backlog. Play a game that you bought and never got around to playing. I've got loads digitally on like the Xbox and everything. I never played. Might as well start doing them. Read a book. Audiobooks are particularly good because you don't really want to listen to the same music you've been listening to for like 20 years and are getting bored of. I did gardening work and I was listening to an audiobook, the first one of the Horus Heresy series. Fantastic. But that's mine. Now over to Dancing Bear.
Oh, didn't see you there. Just, doing a bit of light reading. So to appear as though I'm educated, because according to some people, I belong in a circus. Not mentioning any names. Koala. Anyway, let us begin our countdown of what shows to binge watch given our current climate. Now, at number 4 or number 9, depending on who you ask, because a certain someone didn't tell me it was 10 as opposed to 5, not mentioning any names. Sorry, given today's climate, I should really get this cough checked out. But let us carry on with the countdown. At number 4, I choose, or number 9, depending on who you ask, I choose The Witcher. Now, this is going to come across as overwhelmingly embarrassing to a certifiable degree, because I only remember parts of the main plot. But however, from what I do know is that Witcher is obviously, it's a fantasy setting, and for those who incredibly enjoyed Game of Thrones, I would strongly recommend that this is the show for you. Even though I don't remember the plot overall as much, which is, for me, I'm going to have to give it yet another rewatch. I do, however, remember enjoying it incredibly, and arguably it has received a similar global recognition as Game of Thrones originally did in its first few seasons running, when it ran for the first few seasons. Let's just hope it doesn't take shit on its own success. Not mentioning any names and not looking at anything. Game of Thrones. But
finally, do you know how long it's taken him to make them videos so I can stand here and do this? Like, different clothes, different hair, obviously a different day. Like, you guys have no idea how hard it is to manage Dancing Bear. Like, he can't even get the video right. We've now changed our ideas. We're now going to do 6 things to do in lockdown because it's just a hassle. Him recording something, me recording something, me editing it together, blah blah blah. Just a lot of work, and I'm going a bit crazy. So, without further ado, here's my recommendation: Resident Evil 3. If you liked the original, this has slightly less content. It's good for the new generation. Decent action game. It is relatively short, but loads of replayability, as you'll see. And just fun, and maybe a couple of jump scare moments, or if you're like me, you tend to make sure everything's dead by doing this. Bit of a side code, sorry. You know, when that, you know who turns up and he's all like, stars. There are some genuinely maybe jump scary moments like this. But yeah, it's when you complete it, I highly recommend doing it on a higher difficulty and a higher difficulty until you get to difficulties that are actually hidden when you start the game. It's decent for the story. I would honestly though recommend number 2, because number 2 is a much better game. Much better, and you'll probably enjoy it more maybe if you like old school. Number 3 adds a dodge button though. I'm possibly playing with the idea of possibly doing a speed run of Resident Evil 3 for the channel, maybe. But yes, Resident Evil 3, shoot zombies, stab zombies, blow up zombies, set zombies on fire. There's bugs, there's running around, and there's a big scary monster chasing you around. So, what's not to like? So, what's not to like? Over to Dancing Bear.
Anyway, I have Picard, a show that set 20 years after the events of the 2002 Star Trek movie Nemesis. Now, I would genuinely recommend this show for from people who are just casual fans, casual sci-fi fans, casual Star Trek fans, to the die-hard Star Trek fan going. It really is enjoyable and has a unique quality of maintaining a balance of still holding on to Roddenberry's ideal of what Star Trek originally was meant to be, yet still making the show incredibly relevant to today's climate. It has who better than Patrick Stewart's own original portrayal of Picard, and safe to say, even though the years in some ways hasn't been the kindest to him, I'm sorry Patrick, sorry, he's still got it. You believe that this is still Picard. So I would strongly recommend from a wide range, that's the 2 words I was looking for, from a wide range, from the casual fan to the die-hard Star Trek fan, I would say with evocativeness that this really isn't a show to miss. The main plot is, for those who don't know, from the reboot, it picks up where the Kelvin timeline left off. Now, for those who don't understand my hoity-toity talk, the Kelvin timeline is a soft reboot from the Star Trek franchise. It starts its own alternative timeline from when Romulus lost its home planet. However, Picard picks up from where the original timeline sort of left off. So even though we now have a fresh reboot of Kirk, Spock and the original cast, it's nice to know that the Star Trek franchise hasn't forgotten the other incredible characters throughout Star Trek's original run, such as Picard, Riker, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil too many cameos for you.
Oh. Dancing Bear, Dancing Bear. I apologise again for his lack of some sort of intelligence. Now I'm going to speak about Picard. Really? He's spoken about it already. What am I supposed to talk about? Okay, so something to do. Lockdown is probably nearly ending by the time this video is uploaded. If I don't jinx, so my recommendation: Warhammer, D&D, some sort of hobby like that, especially if you've got friends or family or younger brothers or sisters or someone that lives with you that's slightly nerdy and interested in it. Get a Warhammer starter kit, 50 quid. Get some paints, build them, paint them up, learn the rules, or just build and paint. There are some lovely big models that you can build and paint, dwarves, elves, all that stuff. I personally have Death, and I love painting skeletons and zombies, or just making them. Make them, have some small scale matches. If you do the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the fantasy style one, there in all the rule books there is a Path to Glory campaign. But if you just want to start, there are £25 2-player start sets, and they gradually go up until two people have decent sized armies, and that's in 40k and Age of Sigmar. If you want to get into that sort of hobby, Age of Sigmar, the rules are really streamlined. In fact, they are so simple, I think even Dancing Bear could do them. But yes, this video doesn't really need much. Get some models. I mean, look, here's some great models. This is... So that was just me showcasing some of the models. They are great. And, you know, if you're in the area, once this lockdown is over, you can always go to your local gaming club. I have been Koala. Sorry this video has taken so long to go out and we look so different in each segment. It's mainly it's definitely all Dancing Bear's fault. So, I will see you next video, maybe.
Okay. If it makes you feel better, put your blame on me. I mean to say, we know how fragile Koala's ego can be.
My ego's fragile. At least I don't have to put fancy words unnecessarily in a conversation to make myself seem intelligent. Dancing Bear.
I don't need to appear intelligent. I know how good I am, but then again, I appreciate what you're saying because, yeah, it must be nice being the smartest man in the room. Until Dancing Bear walks in it, of course.
You, the most intelligent person in the room, don't make me laugh. You know what? Whose idea was it to make a podcast? Oh yeah, mine. So let's not kid ourselves. You know what? You're a Star Trek fan. Here's a red shirt. Can you see where this one's going?
Sorry, just doing a bit of light reading, you know, as ill-educated as I am, because there's one of the characters in this book has a similar trait to you, called Jon Snow. You both know nothing.
Jon Snow? No, I don't mind that. Intelligent, good-looking, gets all the ladies, you know. It's quite good. Whereas you've got all the future in this podcast and channel as a Sean Bean character.
Whoa, Koala, didn't realise you were such a sensitive guy. Don't worry, I know when to stop. Unlike some, Koala and Stephen Moffat.
Oh, comparing me to Stephen Moffat, you know what? I kind of take that. As always, I've been Koala.
And as always, I have been Dancing Bear. See you in the next video. Maybe.